All right. Cool. We're live, guys. Good evening, everyone. This is Carla saying hello. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing awesome tonight. Wanted to just come quickly and acknowledge all those pay setters that finished the month of January strong. It is February 3rd already. That was an exciting month of January. And I hope all of you guys are off to a great start of this year. I know that for a lot of people, the New Year's resolutions might be long forgotten, or maybe they have been put to the side, but there's always time to get back to them, guys. It doesn't matter if you start 100 times over, as long as you are focused on what you want to achieve and you truly desire in your heart is where you have that opportunity to restart again every single day if you want to. Today, I want to share just a few things from a book that I'm reading as far as leadership goes, and then also kind of help put into context the simplicity of our business, because I believe that we have truly the simplest business vehicle that has ever been created. As you guys know, I've been building businesses for 20 years, and I've done a little bit of everything over the years. I've failed at some things, I've succeeded big at others. And as I grow in my entrepreneurial journey, I realized that simplicity, duplication, and being really efficient with one's time is the key to long-term success, and to create really a stream of income from your business that gives you the freedom to do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, for me, my why is to be able to do the things I want to do with my loved ones, to travel around the world, to really give my wife and my kids the best life that they could ever wish for or desire, but also to set an example for my children to achieve great things and to put in the work every single day to do that, right? There's no perfect business. There's no perfect individual. There's no perfection at all. In reality, people that seek perfection tend to fail because there's nothing perfect, right? There's always going to be kinks. There's always going to be flaws. There's always going to be really obstacles along the way that you have to overcome. And those obstacles really are not that hard to overcome if you're focused on the right things. And those right things really have to be the reasons why you started a business in the first place, right? All of you guys joining me tonight here are obviously Trunited business owners, right? Sometimes we call you Trunited members, but at the end of the day, you're a business owner. And what that means is that you have chosen to accept the responsibility to build a business for yourself. What does that really mean? It just means that now you are responsible from A to Z of what that business does, right? The beauty of maybe joining an established program like the Trunited Pay Plan 360 allows you certain flexibility to not have to think about a business plan, to not have to think about how to grow the business, but really the work that is necessary to build your business is always going to be a necessary step to success. And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck along the way, because they feel like if I do certain things on a daily basis, this business is going to grow without me doing anything. But the reality is that no matter what business you're in, you're going to have to put in the work. And what I've seen really over the years with colleagues that have been in business or that have started a business and maybe along the way decided to go back to a job or to not be business owners, or that have failed, is that they failed to understand that you have to, especially in the first few years of your business, be in the creative phase of that business, be in the growth phase of that business. In that growth phase, that creative phase is really laying the foundation for something that will last for a long, long time. But there's really nothing that can shortcut that process, because part of that foundation is you getting to the point of growing yourself to a point where you can sustain a big business, where you can make the decisions to grow a big business, and for you to be able to be the leader that you want to attract to your business, especially in a business like Trunited. And one book that I would strongly recommend for all of you guys listening, watching this recording after the fact is the book The Big Leap. Right? I've sent this book to a few already, and this book has really inspired me, because I think what it has done, and it was recommended to me by another entrepreneur when I was sharing my experience of a casual conversation that I had with a business owner, that when I was talking about his business, he expressed to me that he was afraid, right? That he was maybe overwhelmed, that he, even though he was doing really, really well, he felt like, something was stopping him from moving to the next step. And I think that when I saw that, I really wanted, and something in me was longing to give him something, give him advice, or give him words that will help him overcome that fear, that will help him bridge the gap. And when I expressed this in a group of entrepreneurs that I'm part of, somebody said, have him read the book, The Big Leap, right? And sure enough, that kind of was the thing that he needed, right? The Big Leap. And little did I know that when I started reading the book myself, and I started understanding the concept of the upper limit, I realized that all of us, every single one of us, no matter who you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how little success you've achieved or great success you've achieved, we all have an upper limit. We all have a place where going to causes fear, causes anxiety, causes us to be outside of our comfort zone. And that, naturally, by instinct almost, we try to go back to the place that is comfortable. We try to go back to the place where we feel safe. And this is something obviously that keeps us from achieving great success. Other concepts in the book that you will find out if you decide to pick it up and read it, I would recommend it greatly, is that you'll realize that some of us are operating in the zone of competence, right? We are pretty good about where we are. Maybe we have a job, we're pretty good at it. We've been working there for a long time. Maybe not necessarily we're happy. Maybe we know that it's a dead-end street. Maybe we know that after we retire, after 30, 40 years of service, our Social Security will be around $2,000 or less, which is pretty sad, right? So that could be called the zone of competence, right? We can do a good job about it. We can make a living, but it's nothing to write home about and be excited about for our future, right? Or maybe we are operating in that zone of excellence. The zone of excellence is that zone, maybe you have a small business, or maybe you have an executive position at a job where you're making more money, you live comfortable. But then again, are you truly satisfied and fulfilled and happy? And do you feel purpose about what you're doing every single day? Do you live in a place where the work doesn't seem like work, where you could do something for 20 hours straight and not feel even tired, right? That is not the zone of excellence. That is the zone of genius. All of us have talents and gifts. If you don't think that you have talents and gifts, you're mistaken. You were born with talents and gifts. But along the way, maybe you've forgotten these talents and gifts because you've had to replace the activity that you love the most to do with maybe something that pays the bills, with maybe something that makes your family happy, with maybe something that it's acceptable to society. Because taking risks, by the way, many times is not acceptable to society, right? Taking risks might not be acceptable to your family, your parents, your spouse, or whoever. This is something that sometimes we have compromised our sense of purpose, our talents and gifts that we're so good at naturally, by something that we decided to do to pay the bills. And this is where most people either are stuck at, operating in that zone of competence or that zone of excellence, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's just that you are not truly happy, satisfied, purposeful, full of life, and fulfilled to the greatest. And this is really where achieving that level of knowledge, of understanding, of awareness, so that you can break through that upper limit and go start operating in your zone of genius, allows you to do. Now, this is not a process that is overnight. Obviously, you're going to have to work at it just like anything else. But if you could operate in that zone of genius and learn your skills, your talents, your gifts, and understand what you truly love to do, then what I feel is like the Trunited business becomes just a vehicle for you to be there, right? Becomes something that you can achieve without much effort. Amazingly so, without much effort. And a lot of people are going to say, but Carlos, I've been trying to be there my whole life. And what I tell you is maybe you didn't have the right information. I feel like I didn't have the right information. Had I read this book in my teens, had I read this book when I was younger, where would I be now? Now, I cannot regret the past. I cannot change the past. I cannot look back. I never do. But you know, I am so very excited that I got a hold of this information when I was trying to help somebody else. And this is really where our focus needs to be day in, day out. Not about what is in it for me, but what can I do to help this person understand? What can I do to help this person realize how gifted, how talented he or she is? That is, to me, what this book is doing. And it's really allowing me to start operating in that zone of genius and understanding with simple questions, simple questions, simple language, how to be there, right? Because if I put this into context and I bring it back to the Trunited business, what I realize is that the Trunited business is the simplest thing in the world. I was talking to James Wood today about the simplicity of this business. And what really strikes me is that I can explain the business in very few words to somebody that would make sense, right? What if I would tell somebody that I don't know or that I just barely am getting to know? Because I think it's important that you at least know a little bit about the person before you deliver the pitch. But if you think about it, the simple language that you could use is, hey, do you know that there's a business out there that will allow you to make $12,000 a month in just a short 1 year by you putting 1 or 2 products in a subscription box that you get every single month? It could be a vitamin or an energy drink. Is that something that is interesting to you? And the answer is going to be simple. Yes or no. If it's yes, you expand a little bit on it. You get him signed up. If the answer is no, then great. Do you mind if I reach out to you in a month or two, or in a week or two? Maybe things have changed for you and you might be interested then. How long did that take? 30 seconds? 60 seconds? Nothing at all, right? Because I'll tell you something, and I've been talking to Ron a lot about this. Obviously, I have a financial planner of my own that I, barrage with questions about the markets and real estate and things that interest me. And I had a sit down with him this past week, and works for one of the biggest firms in the country that does this. And one of the things I asked is like, do you see a recession coming? Do you see corrections in the horizon? Do you see something that might affect people's livelihoods, right? And of course, they never want to be pessimistic. They always want to be optimistic. But the reality is that a correction is probably due in the next few years. Right now, we have something like the coronavirus that is making headlines already. I do a lot of business with China with one of my businesses, and I'm hearing a lot of factories are shut down. A lot of places have been quarantined. A lot of things that are happening are not happening because the country is in a state of emergency. So how does this affect us here at home? Probably at this point, not much. But if this thing spreads more than normal, it might affect us. So what I always say, and what you've heard Ron say time and time again, is dig your well before you're thirsty. Because if things are at a point where you have to make a decision, then is what you're doing right now for your main source of income completely safe? Completely safe from a recession, completely safe from a correction, right? If the answer is maybe, or if the answer is no, then you should be putting a little bit of energy into building another side stream, right? I think one of the things that has motivated me to build businesses along the throughout the years is I have fear. Yeah, I have healthy fear about not being able to provide for my family. I have healthy fear about not working enough. I have healthy fear of not putting that extra effort, right? I have motivation, I have inspiration, I have all the things in the right place, but I also have this little fear of failure, right? That I don't want to do it. So maybe I overcompensate with action. Maybe I overcompensate with activity. And that activity, that extra activity, is not a whole lot of activity. That extra activity compounds over time, right? Compounds over time. And sometimes I get called out for that because, you know, I feel like one of those things is when I have something that I need to do for my business or for any activity, I try to do a little bit extra. And I think this was instilled into me at a young age from my dad, my mom, where, you know, it's funny, but my dad used to bring us to work with him in his company, in his business. And in the beginning, he used to tell us what to do, but later on, he would just let us do whatever we wanted to do, but as long as we were not idle, right? So we will always be finding more things to do. We will always try to find things that were creative. And over the years, as kids and teenagers, we started getting very creative. We started getting very excited about doing things that we could create and modify. And my brother and I started a mountain biking magazine in our teens, and which was very, very successful. And I think that was the result of not only having a work ethic that was very strong as a young age, but of my parents allowing us the freedom to create, to problem solve, to not be stuck in a box, right? To not be conforming to just one single thing. So whatever you decide to do is just, you know, number one, do it with all your passion, all your might, and achieve that point in your life where if you decide to build your United business, give it your best, right? Put it in your schedule. A lot of the times I see people that start a business on the side, and what they do is they never schedule business time. They do it whenever, right? Whenever's convenient, whenever's ideal, whenever you have extra time, and the whenever usually turns into never because you're not scheduling your business, right? Now, if you had a brick and mortar business, guess what? The business would demand you to be there physically. The business will have business hours. The business might have employees. The business might have needs to be fulfilled. Now, the minute you start treating your business that you have with United like a real business that needs time commitment, that has calendar time in your schedule, then things are going to start changing because your schedule is going to command you to start being in the creative zone for your business, right? And as you start blocking that time with your business and turn that into a habit, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start advancing. You're going to start growing. You're going to start progressing. And eventually, you're going to start making money. And that's going to keep you excited. But it has to start somewhere, right? So if you build in your business and you honestly can say to yourself, in the last month, in the last 2 months, in the last 3 months, 6 months, I have never written down in my calendar time for my United business, then you cannot say you've been building your business. And I want to be very honest and truthful. Your business needs attention. Your business needs that focus, that priority, if you want it to make money. So this is the message I have for you guys today. I don't want to make this meeting too long by any means. I'm going to bring some some of the leaders to the panelists so that they can share a few words with us. But I would ask you leaders, just keep it short, 2-3 minutes. Let's let people digest some of the information, and then we'll let them go so that they can go build their business. All right. As I add you, you have a chance to speak, guys. Gilmore, I add you first, brother. So feel free to unmute and go ahead. You should be able to start your video too.
There you
I'll
go.
let the rest of the guys here.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
Doing good, man. Just
I think
pumped.
you are muted or your microphone might not be working.
Can you hear me? No. Okay. I think.
I can hear you, Gilmore.
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Carlos can't hear me, I guess. Well, anyways,
We got you loud and clear, brother.
yeah. Hey, Kevin. Good seeing you again, my brother. Well, just excited.
Oh, maybe the one that can't be heard is me. I can't hear you guys.
Well, just excited.
Can anybody hear Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, Gilmore. Go ahead and talk, bro. Let me go get another pair of headphones.
Well, just wanted to say just excited for 2020 for sure. I know, if I could catch a flight to Tennessee, I'd be there this coming week to over at James's place. But I'm gonna be flying actually over to Indiana in a couple of weeks to do a meeting over there. So I'm just excited. Just identify what is your why. Really spend some time and figure out what is it that you desire. What is it that you want, and put that on paper. I know I've committed myself. I think I had a chance to talk with James about this, that I'm committing myself to really kind of immersing in personal development, reading books and
all right, guys, we're gonna use the owner system here because I need to go get another pair of headphones. So go ahead, 3 minutes. You call the next guy.
Yeah, so that's one thing I'm committed is just personal development, and also just really, like I said, like I know, like in a previous business that they usually begin the month like January with what we call dream nights, and I don't know if anybody who's been in that type of business before remembers those kind of functions, but it all starts with a dream. It all starts with what you want. If you're just doing the work and going out there and doing it without having a reason why, you're just gonna kind of be wandering around and not really not having a purpose. Like I know my brother James kind of mentioned earlier, one of his talks earlier, like a few weeks ago, that what is your purpose? Really go out and identify that. And I would just encourage you to. That's all I have. Just encourage you to just spend time and figure out what your purpose and what you want. So I guess I get to call the next speaker, right? I got some. I'm gonna go pick on my sister Leanne.
You do.
It's all yours, Leanne.
Thanks, Gilmore. You're so good to me. Yeah, so I'm just going to springboard off of what you said, Gilmore. I'm also committing to a deeper level of personal development. And I mean, it's really crazy because it's so freeing. The more that I learn about myself and where my negative thoughts and my negative behaviors lie, the more free I feel. And, the book that Carlos was referring to, The Big Leap, I'm not too awfully far into it. I've just gotten into the second section of it, but it was really cool to learn about the hidden barriers that we have, and just the things that we tell ourselves subconsciously. And I've kind of made a couple of notes here, but just the 4 hidden barriers that are identified in this book are feeling fundamentally flawed, disloyalty, and abandonment to our roots, that these are barriers to our success. Okay. So there may be a sense of feeling like we're being disloyal to our roots, and therefore we are abandoning those roots, and that we will in turn be abandoned and wind up lonely, right? And then believing that more success will bring more of a burden. And, you know, I think that's the beauty of growing gradually, and that we have a process of transformation rather than it all just hitting us, you know, all at once. And so I think that's also a myth. But and then we may also falsely believe that there's a crime of outshining other people, and that we don't have that, that we're not worthy enough to shine our brightest because we may outshine others. And, you know, I think that's, to me, that's one of the saddest, you know, barriers that holds us back, because I feel like people should be free to be themselves. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this book. I encourage everybody to jump in there with us, no pun intended, on The Big Leap. And let's see, who am I going to pick? You know what? I get a chance to pick on Steve for a change. Go, Steve.
She always picks me to pick on, that's for sure. But yeah, I was telling Carlos on the chat today, I'm at about a page 100 on The Big Leap. Man, great book. And I think when you get into the first 50 pages, you start realizing in your mind what you're doing to keep yourself from advancing. And I got that out of the first 45 or 50 pages. And I was just like, wow, I'm doing that. I've been doing that forever, you know, and it's really something when you read it. And I think I said this to someone else we were talking the other day. I said, I actually had to read it twice to make sure. And then I read it again. And it's like, I just kept going. I was like, okay. So I'm around at page 100, but I'm loving what I'm reading, because I've never truly looked at it that way. I've never really truly looked at it that way and had it broken down to me. And he actually has one or two other books that I'm also wanting to read behind this. So after this one's done, there's another one on Amazon. We'll push the button and go boom and get it too, and dig into it. And for me, guys, it's a lot to get Steve to read, because I've always been an audio person. I love, if they have it in audio book, push the audio, and I can listen to it 5 times in a row, driving, you know, to Denver or driving to Phoenix or whatever. But that's for me. But I am definitely seeing the change in me. I definitely don't need any more positivity. I got a lot of that for sure, and that a lot of Ingo. So anyway,
that sounds like an upper limit to me. We have an unlimited.
Unlimited. There you go. Okay.
That can flow
okay.
through.
Yeah, I definitely got that going on for sure. And I blame a lot of it on how much Bingo I drank probably. But also I put it in the chat over here. Got both true boxes set up today for me and Christine both, and ready for the new month to hit in the back office, so I can go after it. Anyway, let me pick. And I know he'll go long, so let's not pick him. Let's go James Katina. He's beside me over here.
It can only go 3 minutes, but
okay.
Awesome. Love you all. Great to see you. Thank you, everyone, for just the amazing words of encouragement and birthday wishes. 21 and holding, and I feel good.
Yeah.
But, I do. Carlos Saguero, thank you so much for this. This has already been life-changing, impacting me in ways that I'll be honest. I feel like I've been on a journey of self-development, you know, always growing. And most of my growth and my development has really been by observation, by being with people that I admire, mentors and coaches. And I'm very much like Steve Dixon. I'm not much of a reader, but this is, I have committed to really dissecting the pages and getting the highlighter marker out. So this, I couldn't recommend it enough. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And I would just say this, the one word that comes to mind for our group is the word growth. And I want to challenge you for the month of February. We are just, yes, we are just newly in this month. Find any way to see growth. So in your Trunited business, that could be just that one person where you share with, and you share with as many people, but find one person to bring into your business. Anywhere that you could visually see growth, make that your goal for February. Whatever that looks like. Maybe growth for you is just simply getting out and talking to people. I guarantee you, if you do happen to get this book, it will help you with your Trunited business. So Carlos, thanks again.
You're welcome, brother. Happy birthday again.
Thank you, brother.
Who's next?
We'll go with my twin, my other J Dub.
I already had my hand on the my trigger on the unmute button. You know, I and again, Carlos, thank you as well for the book. You know, a long time ago, I had read that one of the great things about this profession is that while you're getting good, while you're growing and making mistakes, you can actually make a lot of money. And I want to, you know, in hearing some of you guys talk about personal development and growing, you know, I think it's important to know they're not independent of each other. It's not like you stop building the business so that you can take time to grow. It's while you're learning and growing and adapting and you know, finding your purpose and becoming a better version of yourself, you're still building the business and making those mistakes and getting better along the way, because therein is also the growth. So I'm going to keep mine really short. I just know that nobody has this thing down perfect. We're all, you know, learning and growing and finding the best way to move forward. But along the way, we're taking action. We're out there, you know, talking to people, engaged with folks, building relationships, connecting with people, and all the while still working on, you know, reading. I'm about 50-50. I like to read a book, but I'm also for those of us that are always on the go, earbuds in the ear are a good way to take in some personal development. But I would just challenge people: don't be so focused on the learning part that you don't take action. Take action while you're learning. You know, there's prime time, and then there's after hours time. You know, if you have time in the morning after meditation, or maybe you get up and you pray, there's always time to pick up a book. You'll find most millionaires, people that have really accomplished a lot in their life, they're readers in the morning. They get up and they focus on some personal development and some learning and some growing, and then they go out and they're in activity mode. And then at some point later on in the evening, we all have extra time to even just 10 minutes, a chapter, 10 pages, something every single day to work on yourself and get better, and then go out and focus on the activity. So anyways, I just want to make sure that you guys know, we're not saying go out and focus solely on growing and stop building. They're not independent of each other. In fact, you're better served doing them together. So that's all I got.
Amen.
And last but not least, K-Dub, where you at?
Hey, brother, what's happening? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm just I've been working in the studio all day, and it's been just absolutely amazing. I'm just excited about this new album I'm working on. There's some incredible new songs, but I wasn't going to miss my brothers and my sisters tonight. So I'm sure everybody needs just like a slight little reset button real quick, just to kind of get things back into perspective. So I thought I would say, hey, how y'all doing? I'm really having a good time. You cannot take yourself too seriously, ladies and gentlemen. If you take yourself too seriously, you're missing out on half the fun of life. So I had to let you guys see my good new look here. How y'all doing?
Nice.
But I'm going to turn it off so y'all take me seriously. I'm excited. I'm excited to get my book. I just got back home a couple of days ago. I haven't got my book yet, Carlos. So I'm anxious to get it. Yeah, this is. I'm just really, really, really excited about what we've got our hands on, guys, and the whole awareness movement right now with everybody. You know, just hearing the commitment to personal growth is so powerful, because this is the one area that is the most deserving of our investment of our time, our money, is to get on the self-development path, to understand who you are, how we're created, what we're capable of, because we truly can design the life that we want and the results that we want. But it all starts with the way that we think. And I love how Bob says he doesn't care what people think about him. He only cares what they think about themselves. And I've kind of adopted that. I know sometimes I go a little bit over the top, and I'm overly passionate and excited. I don't care what people think about me, but I do care about what you think about you. And if you don't think highly of yourself, you're going to struggle. You are worthy of an amazing life. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter, you know, what you have or don't have. You are created perfectly inside. God created us all with the perfect spiritual DNA, and you are worthy of an incredible, amazing, fantastic life. Be the star of your own movie. You don't have to be a sidekick to the people around you. You know, it's like Lee said, we all have, or Carlos said, we all have superstar potential in us. We all do. We all have that available to us. And so just remember, you deserve an amazing life, regardless of where you've been in the past. Focus on that. Get to know who you are, love yourself, and expect great things to happen in your life. And you'll be amazed at what will happen in 2020. So for those of you that don't have the book, gosh, get it, because it's I've heard so many people talking about it. And again, I can't wait to get my copy. I'm a big reader, not like Steve Dixon. Love you, Steve Dixon. But reading is so very important. So very important. But anyway, just appreciate it. Glad to be here tonight. Love you guys. Carlos, I'll throw it back to you, brother.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you tons. Rich, you get to close the night, brother.
Okay, my brother. Hey, thank you.
Hey, first of all,
Thank you.
sorry for that loss yesterday. Mike Mueller probably still hungover because he's not in this chat tonight.
Too much beer. No, but you know, I'm a gracious loser. It hurts, but hey. But anyways, Carlos, thank you. As I was hearing you speak, if there's one word to say, it's conviction. And I'm really eager to start reading this tonight. And
you love it, bro.
The one thing that comes to mind is that sometimes, you know, for me, it's maybe some of the fear and some of the things that are holding me back, and so I'm looking, and you said some key things about just the more you kind of pursue growth, the more just everything just happens. And so I just want to say thank you, and I really look forward to this. I look forward to reading it and hearing a lot of aha moments, and just like I said, conviction. And I'm just, you know, and one more thing, I even thought about, do I buy this for my connections? You know, but I thought, you know what? I'm thinking, if they can see what's happening within me as an example, I'd rather see them be convicted to go buy the book. Not to take anything away from your kindness, Carlos, because man, this is a gift, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
No, and to bring context to that, brother, I only send it to people that told me they would commit to read it.
Yep.
And then talk to me about it on the phone.
Yep.
When they're reading. So that is something important. You know, I truly believe in paying it forward to people. and it, you know, you have to really be hungry, right?
Yeah.
And that hunger is what I think drives many times the growth. Because if you are always hungry to learn more, to change, to be inspired, to be somebody that can maybe out of one act of kindness or words or anything impact somebody else's life, then everything's worth it after that. You know, that's the beautiful thing about building businesses with people, with teams, with families, that you get to inspire others. And I can tell you that in reading this book, one of the things I've discovered about myself and me operating in that zone of genius is precisely that. You know, I am so hungry to leave a mark. I am so hungry to leave a legacy. I'm so hungry to inspire others that when I am working in things that are towards that objective, it doesn't feel like work.
Well, you know, and everything you're saying is not just, you know, because you read it, I've been observing, and it's just everything you said tonight was just like, dang, that only happens when you've actually been convicted and learning, you know, from something like this. So.
Well, everyone, thanks so much, Rich. Appreciate you all. Hope you have an amazing week. Give it your best, guys. Give it your best. There's people out there. I truly, truly believe there's people out there that are waiting for you guys to talk to them, for you guys to reach out to them, for you guys to be the person that sheds light in their lives. You know, our world is a beautiful place, but there's a lot of lost people out there that just need a little helping hand. And sometimes that could be the person, you could be that person in that person's life. So I hope you have an amazing night, an amazing week ahead, and make the most out of the month of February, because it's a short month as it is, but I think most of you guys had a great January. I did too. I'm on track for my 2020 resolutions. I hope you are too. Love you guys.
Hey, man. Thank you,
Love
Carlos.
you.
Carlos.
Awesome,
All right,
Carlos.
Carlos.
You
Have a
guys
great
have a great night, everybody.